Hey there, TZH here, and it's another Destiny 2 video. Been playing this game a lot, and as you know, I'm using a controller. Let me show you. Yep, I'm using a controller, mainly for Destiny 2. Sometimes I like to use keyboard and mouse, but the main objective of this video is, the best controller settings, that you can use, on your controller to get the best out of your controller, especially if you don't have a modded controller. If you have a modded controller, this video might help you, but I wouldn't say it will help you a bunch. But especially for all of you people who are using just the box standard Xbox controller, PlayStation controller, or whatever controller of your choice that doesn't have any like back buttons, customizability, stuff like that, or some of these really cheap controllers, then yes, this does apply to you. So if you have back buttons, might not apply to you as much, but those who are using standard controllers, it will apply to you. So let's get right into it, and I'm sorry for rambling. Yeah, let's get right into the video. So what you want to do is, of course, settings, cog icon, we all know that. Okay, and then you want to go into controller. So this is the basic one. So sensitivity is up to you, but what I would suggest is going into the ADS sensitivity modifier and choose something lower than 1. Never go above 1. If you want, you can always do 1, but what I like to do is go down. I like to play on 0.5. So this way, when you're just looking around, not ADSing, you can move it very fast, but when you're ADS, you can control it a bit more, micro adjust it a bit more, and I think that will help a lot. Vertical inversion depends on you. Horizontal inversion depends on you. Auto look centering, please, for the sake of God, turn that off. This is a bullshit setting, and this adjusts your maximum turn radius while sprinting. Absolutely bullshit. Absolutely don't need it, because especially when you're looking into the floor, by accident or whatever, and then when you run, your crosshair goes up, and then it's just really annoying. Sprint turn scale, I would suggest you to turn it all the way up. Usually people have it at 0.3, the standard, but I'll recommend you to turn it all the way up, so this way when you're sprinting, you can look around a lot faster, and this does a lot to help you, especially when you're sprinting. You definitely want to look left, look right, whatever, look around you, and this will help a lot. Controller vibration, guys, controller vibration, turn it off immediately. This way your controller doesn't shake in your hands, and then after that you lose grip of your controller or whatever. I know PvE, if you want a more immersive experience, especially if you are playing on PS5, playing on a PS5 controller, I would suggest you to turn it on, only for PvE, only if you're gonna do missions, whatever, you just want a more casual experience, I'll suggest that. But otherwise, PvP, especially in PvP, especially in really difficult missions, especially in PvP, like I said, especially PvP, please turn it off. And double press delay, that is up to you, but and you can see the amount of milliseconds here, but I'll suggest you to turn it to the default, which is just the lowest amount of milliseconds, so this way you can spam off buttons really quickly while not missing that double press delay thing. So movement controls, default, unless you like any one of these, I would suggest default. The only other one I would suggest is the only one that I would suggest, if I'm not mistaken, is Southpaw. Not really Legacy Southpaw. Yeah, I won't suggest any of these. These are not great. None of these are great. And then after that, button layout. So this is the default button layout you can see here. But what I'll suggest you to do, especially for first, is to swap the shoulder buttons. So this way you can have two of your fingers on the triggers like this, play it like this. So this one will be a bumper, this one will be a trigger. And as your, this pointer finger is much more nimble and stuff, I'll suggest you to flip the triggers, especially in this way. When you're playing with triggers, you have to press down a certain way, for unless you have trigger stops. If not, you have to press down a certain way for the gun to fire. But if you are using bumpers instead, as soon as you click it, it will instantly fire. And this is great, especially if you don't have the aforementioned, trigger stop on your controller. So that is what I would recommend you to use. Swap and swap, confirm and cancel, just default. And then button layout. What I would suggest you to use is custom. So custom, we have fire, whatever here. Reload, alternate weapon action, everything should be the same. But for auto melee, what I would suggest you to do is to put this on left trigger, to put this on not taken, cancel, unbind. Let me unbind this real quick. Melee, I'll suggest you to put it on A. And yeah, just have it on the normal press. And then for the grenade, left trigger. Super, I will suggest you to flip it to left trigger and right trigger, additional for this. And then for the jump, I will suggest you to do right bumper. Yeah, so this way you can jump using your right trigger. I mean, not right bumper, sorry, right trigger. And then you can grenade using your left trigger. Or if you want, you can swap your grenade to right trigger and your jump to left trigger. So this way you can jump a lot faster, and usually melee you don't really use it, so you can just put it to one of the face buttons. So this way you can jump, ADS, and shoot without having your thumbs off the sticks. So that's very, very important. Finisher, unbind that. You don't really need it unless you're playing PvE. Then I would suggest you binding it to one of the buttons, sacrificing one of the buttons. But aside from that, don't need it. Hold sprint, nobody uses that. Sprint, just the default. Hold crouch, yes, crouch. I would suggest you to put it on the right joystick. So just right click of the joystick, you get R, and then toggle crouch. It's good to have toggle crouch in PvE, but in PvP, it's not really that useful unless you want to duck behind cover for a long period of time. Then that is what I would suggest you to do. And then after that, light attack, right trigger, heavy attack. Yeah, I would suggest you to flip this. Heavy attack, I would suggest you to flip it on right trigger. Light attack, right bumper, because you usually use light attacks more often. So that is what you'll do. Block, left bumper. And then yep, everything else just the box standard. And then in terms of vehicle primary weapon fire, I'll suggest you to put it to bumpers. Secondary weapon fire, I also would suggest you to put it on bumper, zoom as well, boost and brake. Yep, these will be on the triggers. Standard exit vehicle, of course, would be A. Dodge left, dodge right, all this Yep, and then one more thing is, if I'm not wrong, there's that interact button here, character, auto, melee, grenade, jump, finisher. Okay, I can't find it here, but your interact button, you want it to be right bumper, if I'm not mistaken. So this way, when you're interacting with something, especially in PvP or PvE, when you're interacting with things, you can hold down and you are still ADS while you are interacting with the stuff. So in this way, if an enemy comes up, while interacting with stuff, you can instantly shoot them and not have your fingers off the stick, like what I said. So this way, additional settings. Yes, interact. Bumper settings. Emotes, D-pad, nobody really uses that. So yeah, that's it for my settings. That is what I would recommend you. If you're using a controller, especially on PC, to play Destiny 2. So that is what I would recommend you. And yeah, let me know what do you think about this video, whether you liked it or not. If this has helped you, definitely drop me a like, subscribe, all that stuff. But yeah, I hope this really helps you. And also, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. So take care, people.